You've spent your whole life hearing one phrase: don't let anyone put you in a box. It's good advice, but it's only half the story. Now, what if I told you the most restrictive box in your life, the one that truly stops your progress, is the one you built for yourself? Let's start with the first box, the obvious one, the external box. This is a cage built from the opinions of others. It's like the blueprint for your life, drawn by someone else's hand. It's the chorus of voices from your family, your friends, society, telling you who you are, what you're capable of, and where you belong. They label you based on your past, and they judge you based on their own fears. They build walls around your potential because your growth might threaten their comfort. You see it in the stories of every great achiever. They were all told no. They were all told it was impossible.
I remember that after I was finished with my bodybuilding career, I wanted to get into acting and I wanted to be a star in films. You can imagine what the agents said when I went to meet all those agents. Everyone had the same line that it can't be done. The rules are different here. Just look at your body. You have this huge, monstrous body, overly developed, that doesn't fit into the movies. And the agent also complained about my accent. He says, no one ever became a star with an accent like that, especially not with a German accent. And yes, I can imagine with your name, Arnold Schwarzenegger, or whatever the name is, on a billboard. Yeah, that's gonna draw a lot of tickets. So this is the kind of negative attitude they had, but I didn't listen to those rules. Those were their rules, not my rules. I was convinced I could do it, and I started getting to work. I started taking acting classes, and finally I broke through.
But here's the secret they don't want you to know. Their box is an illusion. Their labels only have the power that you give them. When someone tells you you can't, they're often just saying, I can't. When they define you, they're revealing their own limitations, not yours. So how do you break free? You don't fight the box. You make it irrelevant. First, you build your self-worth so thick that their words can't penetrate. You do the work. You keep the promises you make to yourself. Second, you may roll solo or with a crew, but whenever you have others around you, curate your inner circle. Your time is too valuable to spend with people who reinforce the walls. Surround yourself with those who see the person you're becoming, not the person you were. Third, you master the art of selective ignorance.
Noise canceling activated.
This is much different than willful ignorance. You learn to filter out the noise so you can hear the signal of your own ambition. But winning that battle means nothing if you go home and lock yourself in a different cage. This cage is harder to see. It's comfortable. It's familiar. It's the box you call me. This is the internal box, and it's built from the labels you give yourself. It's every time you said, I'm just not a morning person. I'm an introvert. I'm not a leader. I'm too old to start. I'm not the type of person who... Each of those statements is another bar on the door of your own prison. This box is so dangerous because it feels like home. But it's not a good emotional home. It's a cell. Your ego is the warden, and its only job is to protect this identity at all costs. It craves certainty. It fears the unknown. And so it convinces you to stay right where you are. The greatest minds have always warned us about this internal enemy.
A lot of it is limited horizons. Limited horizons are like, I use me as an example always. I came from a small town in Indiana where there was a handful of black families. We had a local plant, Great Dane. a lot of people in that town, when you come from a town of 8,000 people, you're like, you know what? I want to work at Great Dane and get a house next to my mom. That's what you know. So many of us come from these small places in our mind that we're not willing to think outside of only what we've seen. Our mind works in such a small compartment. And one thing I was able to do was to dream outside those fucking four walls of that small town. Until you're able to really put yourself into that dream, but don't make dreams your master, when you become the master of your fucking dream, that's where you truly become what you're destined to become.
See, on this channel, the No Days Off philosophy isn't about hustle. It's about refusing to take a day off from evolving. It's a commitment to become obsolete to the person you were yesterday. So, how do you dismantle a prison that you built? You break out of Shawshank like Andy Dufresne. You start with a small crack in the wall. You do one thing today that your old identity wouldn't, then continue to chip away at it. If you're not an organized person, commit 1 minute to organize one drawer. If you're not a risk taker, make one call you've been afraid to make. You start by defining yourself by your values, your character, like courage, discipline, and curiosity, not by static labels. Your culture, your race, or gender is not all that you are. Your religion or political affiliation isn't a concrete definition of who you are. Some of these were decided for you before you even knew who you are. Some of these you gave to yourself out of rebellion or allegiance, so they feel more finite. Whereas your job is not who you are. Your personality type is not who you are. See, those are temporary descriptions of your current state. You have to fall in love with the process of becoming, not the comfort of being. You see, the two boxes are connected. The internal box is the foundation for the external one. When you've already decided you're not good enough, you believe it instantly when someone else says it. When you've already caged yourself, you're just handing them the key. To be truly free, you gotta wage a two-front war. Have the strength to defy the labels the world tries to give you, but to have the raw courage to shatter the ones you give yourself. That is the ultimate liberation. The question is no longer, who will you not let define you? The real question is, who will you stop defining yourself as? I want you to make a commitment. Tell me in the comments or keep this promise to yourself. But give me one label, either from them or from you, that you'll break free from this week. If you felt that this message resonated with you, subscribe to the channel. Because under this label of No Days Off, I believe your potential was never meant to live in a box.